Word in the Clinic. I'm Dr. Candice. I'm talking about measles today. The word is measles, and I was saying that I know most of us don't think about measles and don't have to worry about measles because we're vaccinated and we vaccinate our children, and so it just doesn't come up. These are not the 1940s, 50s, 60s, right? But unfortunately, every couple of years, yearly, we are starting to have more cases of measles in the U.S., and we're going to talk about why that is. And so I just wanted to make you aware. You're probably seeing that in the media. So currently, the CDC says that there are about 127 cases of measles in the U.S., and that's an increase from the prior couple of years. And I know a lot of people heard about the big Disney scare a few years ago. So it does happen every year. We'll get a few cases from people traveling into the U.S. This current outbreak is being tracked back to Israel and the Ukraine, not Mexico like some of y'all think. And sorry about that. But anyway, a little political. But it comes in through the country from areas where vaccines rates are lower. And so individuals come into the country, they may or may not know they're carrying the measles virus, that they are infected. There's that period where you're contagious. And so when they get here, we have pockets of communities in our country that don't vaccinate. And so they're susceptible. And then also there are children that are a year and younger, that are younger than a year, who haven't started the MMR vaccine, and so they're susceptible. And then other individuals who may be immunocompromised. So there are people here that can get it, that aren't protected, and that's how it spreads, okay? And so that's what's going on and how it happens. And it spreads because measles is special in the sense that it is highly, highly, highly contagious. It really is. If you're not vaccinated against measles with the MMR vaccine and you become exposed to someone with the infection, there's a 90% chance that you will get the infection. It's that contagious. And it is spread through the air with respiratory droplets and dropping onto surfaces. And so an individual who has the infection, wherever they go, if they cough, if they touch their nose or their secretions, it's everywhere. So it's like a cloud of measles that can live up to 2 hours. So if I go to school, if I go to my job, if I go visit family members, if I'm at the mall, hey, Louie, how are you? Wherever I go, I can leave that cloud of infection for up to 2 hours that can live, and everyone that I've come in contact with, I've potentially exposed if they're not protected. So that's how it works. Measles is that contagious, and a lot of other viruses aren't that contagious. So it spreads rapidly in that manner. That's why you need to be protected. So measles is a virus. It is one of the 14 vaccine preventable illnesses that we can prevent through vaccine. And you get that protection through the MMR vaccine. And we give the first dose of the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine at a year, between a year and 15 months. And the second dose is between 4 and 6 years of age. Once you complete that series, you are 99% protected against measles. It's that effective, the vaccine. So why go through the misery and all the potential complications and even death with contracting measles? I don't know why people choose to do that when you could take the vaccine that is 99% effective once you've had that series. And just to say, because I know people are probably shouting at me, autism, that has been proven time and time and time again that the MMR vaccine does not cause autism. Okay, so that's false information. And if you believe that, I can see why you won't vaccinate, but it's not true. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, let's see what else I got here on my notes. So we talked about that. Also, we talked about how those young individuals who can't get the vaccine yet, how they can be at risk for getting this infection. So we're not only protecting people who've never been vaccinated, we're protecting those that it's not time to get it yet. And we're protecting those individuals who can't get the vaccine because of maybe chemo, or they have some type of immunosuppression from other illnesses. And so they can't be vaccinated as well. So it's not about just protecting ourselves, but it's about protecting our community community. We want to build community immunity, or what we call herd immunity. So what does measles look like? Because, we don't hardly see it anymore, so people may get scared as soon as they see a rash. So measles will present as fever, the 3 C's: cough, coryza, conjunctivitis. Coryza is this runny nose, and conjunctivitis, red eyes. Also, you may at some point see little white spots in the cheeks of the mouth. And then also individuals will develop a rash. And this rash is very interesting because it usually starts in the face, the head, and works its way down. So that's what's special about measles. People can also have vomiting, diarrhea, belly ache, all of those things. Outside of being miserable for a week or more with that stuff, fever, this rash, all of the other symptoms, the 3 C's we talked about, you can develop secondary bacterial infections like ear infections, sinus infections, pneumonia, which is the most common cause of death from measles, having a pneumonia, and that happens in the younger children. And then also encephalitis, brain inflammation. And some people can die from complications of measles-related infections. So this is no joke. Okay, so protect. What do we do? How can we protect ourselves? How can we protect our families? How can we protect our community? The more of us that vaccinate and have that mindset of community immunity, then we protect ourselves, our families, and others. We protect those young people, like I said, that can't be immunized yet, and we protect people whose immune system can't take vaccines. So it's very important. Hey, Auntie Maxine. So it's very important to get your vaccines, get the MMR vaccine when it is due, on time, and encourage others to do the same. All right. Other than that, for those people who have children under the age of 1, it's not time to get the MMR vaccine yet. You want to be aware of these types of things that's going on, outbreaks. You want to maybe be honest and ask people, do you immunize your kids? Do your kids get vaccines? If, maybe it's not a time to take them to, I hate to say this, Disney World or different places if you know there's an outbreak. For instance, if you live in the state of Washington right now, that's where the outbreak is occurring. In New York, Texas, and Washington State, Washington State has actually declared a state of emergency. More than half of the cases of measles right now is in Washington State, and it's in individuals who are mostly not vaccinated and in small children. So if you're in those communities, or you know people going, you may not want to travel there. If you have a young child that's susceptible, you may not want to go to an amusement park there. You may just want to know what's going on around you locally. And I never want to make this too long. So basically vaccinate, know what's going on in the community around you, and protect the small young children and people who are immunocompromised. Okay, that's the way to do that. And that's basically it. If you suspect that your child may have measles for some reason, if those symptoms I named, ring a bell, and you're looking at your child and it sounds familiar, give your doctor a call first. Tell them what you think. They need to be prepared. Remember, we said it's highly contagious. Don't just show up at the office or show up at the ER with a child that you suspect has measles. Let someone know so they can get prepared to set up isolation to protect your child, to protect other children who could be infected as well. Okay? It's viral. Your body generally handles it on its own and heals on its own, but you may need some support and some treatment, and also to confirm that diagnosis and report that out is reportable information. So that's what I would suggest with that. Okay, have a great weekend, everybody. That was the word in the clinic, measles, and all the info you need to know. We'll talk next week with the word in the clinic. Thanks. Bye.